Hello students, I am Shamli Vakulial, PCT English of KMD Vidyalayar Rangabhar. I am here to give you a brief explanation of the poem An Elementary School Classroom in a Slum, composed by Stephen Spander. This is a poetry from your Flamingo textbook. Let us know who Stephen Spander was. Sir Stephen Harold Spander was born on February 28, 1909 in London. He attended Oxford University and fought in the Spanish Civil War. His early poetry was often inspired by social protest. Spander took a keen interest in politics and declared himself to be a socialist and pacifist. Students, I hope you know the meaning of pacifist. Pacifist is a person who works for upholding peace and solidarity in society. Some of his notable works are collected poems, poems of dedication, the edge of being, the creative element, the struggle of the modern. His famous autobiography is World Within World, published in 1951. Here's a photograph of Spander. Students, imagine how a classroom in a slum school would look like. Compare that with those high-tech classrooms that we have. Before moving on to the poem, I want you to see some pictures and think about the kind of life the kids have. This is image 1. Now look at image 2. Compare both the worlds and feel the differences in the lives of these kids. Now moving on to the poem. Let us take stanza 1. According to the content of the stanza, I gave the title The Classroom in a Slum. The lives of the underprivileged children of the slum are full of struggle and hardship. Throughout the poem, the poet gives a moving pan picture of the pathetic lives of the slum children where the setting was a slum school classroom. He compares the pale, lifeless faces of the children with rootless weeds, which is quite different from the gusty waves that marks the childhood. There is a tall girl with her head weighed down, a paper-seeming boy with terrified eyes, a stunted boy with twisted bones, a sweet and young child with dreaming eyes, as if imagining a tree room for himself like the squirrel, only to escape the harsh reality of the slum. Let us talk about the poetic devices. In stanza 1, you may find simile. I hope you know what a simile is. In the expression like ruthless weed, the children of the slum are compared with ruthless weed. There's metaphor. In the expression paper-seeming boy, the boy here is compared with paper as he is thin as the paper. There's repetition. Use of the word far to stress on the distance. In the expression far, far from gusty waves, there's alliteration, repetition of the same sound. In the expression far, far from, the tall, and then this. Here's a list of the meaning of the difficult words. Gusty means energetic, pallor, pale, stunted. It means not properly developed, heir, successor. Knurled, twisted, unknoted, not noticed. In stanza 2, do they have a future? The well smells of sour cream, where the names of the donors are scripted. One could also find a picture of Shakespeare's head, a cloudless dawn, a cathedral dome, flowery valley of Tyrol, a world map, which are all symbols of a civilized and a beautiful life. However, all these have failed to portray the real picture of these students' lives. The vision is not clear, and their futures painted with a fog. In this stanza, the Poetic Devices used a metaphor. Sour cream walls. Here, walls are described to be dull as sour cream. Narrow street sailed in with a lead sky. The expression means the future of the kids is described as limited. Assonance, repetition of vowel sound. In the words belled, flowery, Tyrol is valley, the vowel sound E has been repeated. There is allusion. Allusion means reference to well-known person or place. In the expression Shakespeare's had, Tyrol is valley. You may also find repetition. The word far is repeated. Now, these are the list of meaning of difficult words. Dome means a large rounded roof, sealed, fastened or closed securely. Lead sky, dark and polluted sky. Cape, a very large piece of land sticking out into the sea. Now let us move on to stanza 3. What life in a slum be like? The poet called Shakespeare wicked because reading Shakespeare seems a luxury, a distant dream in context of their lives. The world map with beautiful landscapes is surely a bad example, as it seems a temptation to escape their reality. Their homes are like cramped holes, and their frail bodies are slag heap, where the bones are visible through their skin. They wear spectacles with cracked glasses like bottle bits on stones, so it is unfair to lure them by exposing that kind of a world which doesn't exist for them, when their only world from dawn to dusk is the foggy slum. The poet therefore demands to blot the maps with their very own slum reality. Poetic devices used in this stanza are metaphor. In the expression cramped holes, their homes are very small like holes. Simile, like bottle bits on stones. Their repaired spectacles. Alliteration in the expression from fog, bottle bits. So this is the list of word meaning. Slyly means secretly, cramped, very narrow, slag, refuse or waste, blot, to abolish or mark, doom, ruin, death. Stanza 4. Can we make a change? The poet calls on the governor, inspector, visitor, and says that the maps will bear no meaning unless they are taken out of their slum. The slum is like catacombs for them. He requested to break the boundaries of such life and make them move out of the town where they could enjoy a happy and carefree life. In the last line, he remarked that history belongs to those people who strive for knowledge, breaking all constraints of restricted lives, and lead a carefree life glowing like the sun. The poetic devices are metaphor. Books and nature are expressed in the form of white and green leaves. In the expression, the white-green leaves open. Anaphora. It means use of repeated words in two consecutive lines. You may find in the expression run a jeer, run naked. So word meaning, catacomb means an underground place where people are buried. Azure means clear blue color. Now let us talk about the themes. prominent themes are social injustice and class inequalities. As a socialist and a pacifist, poet Stephen Spender in this poem concentrates on the theme of social injustice and class inequalities by perfectly bringing out the differences between the world of the privileged and the underprivileged. The value of education. In the sordid reality of Islam, the poet questions the value of education. From his perspective, the maps of the world with beautiful valleys and cities and good literature may raise hopes and aspirations, which will never be fulfilled and will always remain a distant dream for those unfortunate children. Life of the slum children. The poor, malnourished slum children are like captives in the gloomy world of poverty and hopelessness, and they cannot defy this world, as if they are bound to live there for their entire life. Isn't there a way? The poet calls on the learned and powerful people of the society who are able to transport the education beyond the murky boundaries of the classroom and spell hope for the future of the unfortunate children of the slum school. So I hope you have understood the poem thoroughly. Thank you.